first-person shooter.
We could be like, yo, people, how about this weather we're having? It's really nice.
I'll sit there awkwardly and someone just start talking about the weather. I'm down. Okay, we can. And someone just screams and runs off the set. So you stand up with this shit. Just go ahead. No, I'm done. Please do that. They're just like, I'll sit here and it's like, so about the weather. It's like, stop. Okay, I'm done. Straight. I'm just sitting on the ground. Stare awkwardly at the camera and no one says anything. No, I think I'll be deep in thought. We don't know what the fuck happened.
What about the weather?
No! I'm done!
Aaron! Come back! Come back, Aaron!
This is normal.
I love you! Love you.
Welcome to Nerdatory.
Step 1. Notice the situation.
That means noticing what's around you.
And paying attention.
Ask yourself, what's going on or what's happening?
And if the situation calls for it,
Ask the person, are you okay?
Step up.
Step 2. Interpret the situation as risky.
I would ask myself, what just happened?
I might think, did someone get hurt?
I would notice if the situation seemed dangerous.
If I was out, I might tell a friend, I'm really worried. He doesn't look like himself.
Yeah, or she seems upset. Something's up with her.
yeah.
Step up.
Step 3. Choose to take responsibility.
I should do something.
Yeah, it's up to me to do something.
I will take responsibility.
Step up.
Step number 4, know how to help.
It's about knowing what to do.
Knowing where to go.
Knowing who to call.
It's about knowing, yeah, I can do something.
Step up.
Step 5, decide to take action.
Let's make a difference, one person at a time.
Step up.
站出来.
Intervenir.
תעזרו אחד לשני.
Diez Brosta.
Step up, you Albany.
Step up, you Albany. Step up, you Albany. Step up.
Hey guys, we're back at Nerdatory now. So, for this segment, we're going to be talking about the TV show Chuck, which was recently added to Netflix.
Yay, Netflix.
Yay, Netflix. Netflix is just awesome. But anyway, it just got more awesome considering that they added Chuck to their, plethora of TV shows.
Good word.
Thank you.
Good word.
Really good word.
So for those of you who don't know the show Chuck, because I feel like it kind of has like a cult following. It didn't really get that much of an audience.
And it has been off the air for a while.
Yeah, it's been off. It was from 2007 to 2012, I think, was its running.
2011, I think. 2012.
Hey, I love Chuck. Oh, hold on a second.
Don't hurt her.
What is confusion? Hey!
So you like Chuck?
I love Chuck.
You're a Chuck enthusiast.
Yeah, it's a really crazy show with a really crazy set of characters.
You can tell by his enthusiasm that it's a really good show.
Yeah.
Because what a crazy person does you.
So the reason why we're talking about the TV show Chuck today is because it was recently added to Netflix, and it's a really awesome show.
Super
You
excited.
should totally watch it, right? I mean, it's so okay.
Are you gonna watch it again now that you know it's on Netflix?
Well, I mean, I never actually got to see the entire thing. It's just that when it was on, I would just zoom in to watch it if I had the chance. It was just, I loved the characters, I loved the action, I loved the plot. Just the whole thing with his brain was crazy.
Let's explain.
So why don't you explain to us what the story behind Chuck is?
So, okay, Chuck is basically a spy show, but it's a super awesome spy show, and I'll explain why. So it starts out with this guy named Chuck. Wow, who knew? And he's just a basic, dude. He works at the Buy More in the Nerd Herd, which is basically like the Best Buy Geek Squad. And he's like a computer guy, and he lives with his sister Ellie and her boyfriend Captain Awesome, who is pretty awesome.
He is. That's his name. He's so awesome that his name for the longest time was just Captain Awesome.
Was awesome, but then he earned the title of Captain.
he was on the boat.
saved a couple thousand puppies and earned Captain.
but sometimes I know life isn't always awesome.
And he has his best friend Morgan, and he's just like a normal dude, but then his life has changed.
Forever.
When he gets an email from Bryce Larkin, his old college roommate, who he hadn't talked to in years because Bryce stole his girlfriend and got him kicked out of Stanford, so there's some bad blood. But
just a wee bit.
Just a tiny bit. And so Chuck gets this email, and he opens it, and little does he know that Bryce Larkin, in his time since college, has become a super secret spy person.
The professional term.
Yes.
I believe
that's on his business card.
I believe that is his title. You know, he has his hand up as super secret spy person. Want to get as sexually correct. Want to get as sexually correct. Want to get as sexually correct. Want to get as sexually correct.
Politically correct.
So in the email, it contains this thing called the Intersect. And the Intersect is essentially all of the government secrets compiled into one computer. And Chuck opens the email, watches the whole thing, gets it downloaded into his brain. So now he has all of the government secrets in his brain. And the important thing to note is that the original Intersect computer, Bryce, exploded. So the Intersect...
Bryce exploded?
Well,
Bryce blew up the computer, not himself.
Yes. And so the Intersect...
he broke the machine and it was just so... in a fit of rage.
Bryce sent the files from the Intersect to Chuck,
yes.
and then Chuck destroyed the computer that held the files beforehand.
Sort of
so
like
now,
keep going. No, my reference was bad anyhow.
So then basically his life gets turned upside down because Sarah Walker, who's the super hot blonde, her name in real life is Yvonne Strahovski.
Oh God, I could never pronounce her last name.
It even sounds sexy.
Strahovski.
Oh man.
Blonde, skinny Russian women.
I have that name carry me to bed every day.
And she works for the CIA, and she starts working with Chuck because they need him because he has all the government secrets in his head.
Well, isn't she his
she's his handler.
His handler, that's the word.
So she basically kind of watches.
Whoa, that's cute.
Handler, but anyway, so she kind of like watches over him and stuff, and so does this guy named Casey, who's played by Adam Baldwin.
Which is Jane Poole from Firefly, which is why I kind of love the show, because anytime I have a character from Firefly and something else, they usually make references to Firefly, and that makes me very happy.
For all of you that don't know, Firefly is a little sci-fi ditty about space travel where every character on the ship is pretty much Han Solo.
It's also on Netflix if you want to try it out. So basically, like Chuck, starts working with Sarah and Casey, and in the episodes, usually they go on like super secret missions and they kill people, and Chuck flashes. The thing is with the Intersect, he flashes. So whenever he sees like a terrorist just walking down the street, like he's like, "You're a terrorist."
Like you do when you're a really wanted terrorist. You walk down the streets of San Francisco.
Exactly.
Every day when you're walking down the street, and everybody that you meet is a terrorist.
You'll just be like walking through downtown San Francisco, like just see a guy like, "That's the terrorist who blew up this other place in Iran. We have to take him down."
And it's like really funny because every time he flashes, he makes this face that's like. Like he literally just jizzed in his pants, and it's pretty funny. And then like they show like random images like pie and
that's what you got?
Yeah.
I got more of like, mental seizure. I guess pants jizzing is
I mean
okay.
like a combination between a jizzing pants and a mental seizure.
It's a mental orgasm.
A mental orgasm.
A mentasm.
Let's see how you look when your
Nirvana.
brain decides to just randomly access terabytes of data.
So, Yeah, so it's a really good show. I feel like it didn't really get the attention it deserved. It had a good cult following.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really. It's such a great show. It's a good mix of like comedy and action and like nerd stuff, nerdatory.
It panders to pretty much everything that you could truly love if you wanted to go. If you're the kind of person that goes to Comic-Con and all these conventions, it's got everything you could love.
And also, Zachary Levi, the actor who plays Chuck, is just wonderful. He's just so great.
Such a good guy.
He's really funny. Like, he's funny, he's witty, and he's relatable.
Yeah,
even though he's an attractive Hollywood type male, I can relate to him as a nerd.
I feel like a good part of the show is that he is a very relatable, normal, good guy, and you're just like you really feel for him during the whole show.
Just a character who's really down on his luck, trying to cope with this random gift that he was given and being shoved into this new life, but he still maintains everything that made him so good. He's got that crazy little happiness going on.
Yeah, like you really root for him because there's really good characters in the show. It's just like a lovable show. Like if you watch it, you will love it.
Just give it a note. Yeah.
So if you have Netflix, you should totally go. It's only 5 seasons, and check it out. Yeah. So we'll be back after this commercial break.
See you around.
Yeah, the Knicks got some team. Carmelo Anthony, Amari Stoudemire. I can't even think about that. How's it going, guys? I know here on UA Double Overtime we're a sport-related show, but today I want to talk about our youth. And a big problem with our youth today is marijuana. But what I want to know is, does our youth have the strength to say no?
UA Overtime, #1 in sports and #1 in fighting the war on drugs.
Thanks for not running away off to some other petty channel. Here we're going to be talking about the Legend of Korra finale episode that happened a little while ago. Now, guys, what did you feel about the finale episode? What did you feel about the finale episode? Like, it was just explosions and spirits and fucking just making out. It was amazing. I thought it was very good, actually.
Okay.
No strong feelings there, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
So he just
Very
enjoyed it.
No. Professional.
No.
I thought it was a good season finale.
Yeah.
I kind of did a little reading up after it, and
reading up.
Reading articles about the finale and what some people thought about it, and they were like, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner with it. Like, how do you really come back next season and be like, we changed the whole world order?
I don't know.
Here's Korra dealing with Mako and Asami.
I feel like, she stopped this whole deal with the bloodbending and the masked guy whose name I can't remember. Amon.
His name was Amon.
And Amon. And Steve Bloom. So she stopped Steve Bloom from trying to just ruin everything in the Avatar thing. And then this whole spirit arc came out of nowhere. They didn't mention anything with that. So, you gotta give the writers some kind of credit. They can probably pull something out of nothing and make a really good finale at, 3rd season. If you think about it, the way... no spoilers, but I'm just going to say the way that the season finale ended, it was very good in wrapping everything up, but it didn't give that whole, mega finale ending. It definitely left a few things unopened and definitely left a few things that could be expanded upon. So, fingers crossed, and I'm pretty sure the writers got more in store for us.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly.
There is some line in it talking about how it might be the end. However, it's really just the new beginning, and you would understand that once you watch it. If you haven't watched it, you really should.
It's been out for 2 weeks at this point. You guys should have seen it.
Yeah.
Come on. Get on your game.
Yeah, come on. How could you watch this channel
The
without
game
watching the Korra finale?
And the turtle ducks and the Bolin being a movie star.
No, I love that part. There was a part close to the ending. It wasn't the finale where Bolin's a movie star and
Bolin got so much action in this one. I just want to shout that one out.
He was in a movie, and then he decided to stop the bad guys because he realized there was a whole plot to abduct the president. And then you see him in front of the movie screen, and then everyone in the movie is saying the exact same lines. And I just thought that was wonderful.
I love the part where they're fighting on the pro bending stage.
Yeah.
And then you have the announcer.
They're just saying everything and it means nothing. Doesn't even say and even though there's no actual gameplay going on right now.
Yes.
I'm still gonna be that. The one guy that's sitting right next to him saying please leave me alone.
Yes.
No, they did.
I wonder if he has any other tone of voice besides obnoxious.
No, he doesn't.
I have to use the bathroom at this very moment. Oh my god.
Exactly.
It's terrible.
I mean,
Should not have eaten the chili.
They're wonderful storytellers.
Oh,
Michael Dante DiMartino and
names I don't know.
The other guy's name I don't remember, which is bothering me. But
Let's just say Steve Bloom again.
Steve Bloom,
even though he's the voice actor.
They're wonderful storytellers. They,
amazing. Yeah.
You know, The Last Airbender was such a wonderful, story. And then when they came in with Korra, they were like, how do we tell as interesting and as compelling of a narrative as we did with, the 100 Years War with Korra? And I think that with this season, they kind of just made, I feel like they could have made this, 3 seasons. Like a whole huge, the spirits the spirits in trouble.
Yeah.
And
I want it definitely ended a little quicker than I thought it was going to, but honestly, just the way that they portrayed everything happening it was clean. I can't really complain about anything except for Sonora, but it ended well. I'm just saying, I don't have anything wrong with what happened except for Sonora, but no, it's a watch. It's a good one. It's a couple, what was it, an hour and a half?
It's 4 20-minute episodes.
Yeah, segments.
It's a 2-hour time slot on regular TV, but it's broken up into 4 separate half-hour time slots, which, if you watch without commercial, means about 21 minutes.
Yeah.
You get very good at this kind of stuff when you watch a lot of TV without, not when it actually airs.
Yeah. Freaking commercials.
They're the worst.
Yes, they are.
They're the reason I don't watch TV on TV anymore.
TV on the TV. Hulu for life.
Netflix, but okay.
Anyway.
Back on topic.
Hulu makes me pay more.
Another thing I liked about the ending to this season is they threw a lot of old characters from the Airbender. I appreciated Iroh coming back.
I think everyone appreciated Iroh.
Everyone appreciated Iroh.
Usually for a couple seconds.
Who cares? He was back.
He was back for a couple of seconds in the series finale, in the season finale, but he had an episode where he was there for he had a segment. Jinora or Korra?
No, it was Korra.
Korra was having a tea party with Iroh and a bunch of other people.
Yes.
And the best part was Korra was a kid. She was this little 6-year-old Korra.
Yeah.
And she was the cutest thing ever. I just wanted to hold her.
At a tea party.
With Iroh.
Yes.
Iroh's main.
But yeah, although what also was interesting to me is that they brought the small things from
all the small things?
The small things from thank you. From The Last Airbender and made them part of it. The White Lotus, which when I rewatch The Last Airbender and you see all the little hints, Iroh plays Pai Sho and talks about the White Lotus. The guy who teaches Sokka how to use a sword
gives him a White Lotus
tile, and on his doors is a White Lotus. But they really talk about it and they bring it back. And Cabbage Incorporated, which was I think the best little Easter egg for long time.
My Cabbage Corp. That was quite possibly the.
So overall, you guys would say it was a good season finale.
It was a good season finale.
And people should be watching Korra no matter what.
You should be. If not, for shame.
If you think about it, it was almost in the complete opposite of the first series. The first season, I mean. Because the first season dealt heavy with technology and benders against benders. Maybe we can see something crazy with the third. That's all I'm saying. So, anyhow, definitely watch this new season of Korra, and who knows, pray hard, cross all of these fingers and toes if you can for a next season coming soon. Who knows?
Thanks a lot, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Go have a commercial
After
break.
this commercial. Next time for the commercial.
Commercial breaks.
Happen now.
Breaks in commercial. If you have to pee, do it right now.
bathroom break.
I hope all your number ones and number twos were good and not fired.
Jesus.
You should probably visit a doctor if they were.
And now we're back, and we're going to be talking about the first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So, first person meaning that, straight from the screen, you see, what you would see is the screen.
You're not behind the camera, holding out a gun, shooting and killing, hopefully, everything that you see in front of you. Maybe not. There's some special achievement for doing it, whatever.
And there are many different types. There's, from Half-Life to Call of Duty to just, Portal, which can also be considered
It's just a puzzle game.
It's a puzzle game set in a first-person shooter genre.
It's set from
a first-person perspective.
I would literally say I'm disagreeing with you completely.
Right away, right off the bat.
And saying that
a first-person shooter
has
has
from the
Okay, first-person
shooter is where you shoot something at other people.
A portal gun.
You shoot out portals, and just because it's called a gun doesn't mean it's a first-person shooter. I actually am so confused as to why you're doing that. Regardless, I myself think that we should redo this, but I myself think that the first-person genre... Actually, do a rap about it. Think that the first-person genre right now, including everything about Call of Duty, Battlefield, Bad Company, everything, you have all the goods and the bads, the first-person genre right now is a phenomenal genre. I think, what Call of Duty is doing, even though it's very repetitive, you have that with so many games that don't get nearly as much flack with that. But what they're doing, they update everything. They update the shine of the game, the guns, the gameplay itself, add new bonuses, and Call of Duty in itself, let me tell you, it may have a very short story, but it's sweet every single time. Every single time through, it's like 5 hours long, and 1 million hours for the multiplayer. But it'll give you definitely something to talk about.
So I will agree with you on one point. I think that the first-person shooter genre is a wonderful genre, and there are gems.
Do you know what a first-person shooter is? Portal?
Clearly not defining Portal as a first-person shooter, but as a first-person game, if I wanted to describe whatever.
Carry on.
The first-person shooter is a wonderful set, but right now I feel that Call of Duty has, in my opinion,
a stranglehold.
It has a very large stranglehold on the first-person genre. You can't really make a lot of games without being like, oh, it's a Call of Duty clone, or it does exactly what Call of Duty does. But in my opinion, what Call of Duty has done to the first-person genre is it's made mediocrity acceptable. It's made copy-paste. To me, the past couple of games have felt very just copy-pasted. We have all these things that we've done over the past years. It's gonna do like what sports games do.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna add maybe 1-2 features. Oh, this has dogs. Oh, this gun does this. But it doesn't make you. It doesn't bring out a lot. What, in my opinion, the first-person shooter should be, which
nearly
is
as much.
Half-Life or BioShock, and games where you tell the story. Yes, you shoot people, but there's a lot more to do. There's a lot of puzzle solving. There's a lot of action not done just because you're running through and shooting everything in sight. A lot of tactical thinking about what you have to do. My problem with Call of Duty, with the campaign especially, is that it's a lot of just you run, throw a grenade, shoot everyone, get hit, and it suffers
jelly eye syndrome.
It suffers from jelly eye syndrome, which I hate because you can't just say
jelly eye syndrome is pretty much when you take a lot of damage and the screen has some kind of effect, probably
it just
going
gets
red.
Or it's supposed to be like, oh, you're bloodied, but then it eventually fades over time.
Over time, you regain health.
Which, to me, I don't mind something like that if you can explain why it's happening.
In something like Halo, where you have shields.
You have shields and armor that will bring back your health. BioShock Infinite, which was it had a shield, and then you gain health. You eat things to gain health. Half-Life,
as was in life, real life.
It's not because you eat week-old apples from the garbages gain 80 health.
That's how I did. Yeah. I have
But-
another venereal disease. Better eat apples in the trash.
But to just say like, oh, you were shot and you sat behind a wall for 5 seconds and now you can go out as perfectly healthy. I don't agree with it. I think it cheats the player. And I think that, in my opinion, Call of Duty has done this a lot where it takes the player for granted. It just says, here's playing the game. It's a straight line, turn left, shoot, turn right, shoot, and then you're done. You're not playing anything. You're sitting on a roller coaster. You're watching something.
Now here's where I disagree with you on that point. I'd say in terms of, you describe the story in terms of the gameplay, and yes, it can be very basic, where it's just find a room, kill a bunch of enemies. But in terms of the stories and the plot that's going on, you have the characters that really do mean a lot to you. Like Soap McTavish, you play with him throughout the entire game in the first one, and then you find him again in the second one.
Modern Warfare, right?
Modern Warfare, yes. And it's a whole new story, and it's just amazing. But in terms of what these first-person shooters are starting to become is more of an immersive, because we've become such an age where everything is possible in terms of connection, where we can now literally start a system and connect to someone that's halfway across the country, and we can play with them. And honestly, it's because of this advancement in technology that we focus more on the multiplayer aspect of playing with someone else instead of the story aspect, where we were normally confined to certain areas of the game. In terms of something like BioShock and Half-Life, those are definitely very good first-person shooters. I'll get you. I won't stop you on that one. But those focused more on the story of the game instead of the multiplayer. They do have certain multiplayer aspects, but they're never that as fleshed out. So I feel like those are honestly cop-outs in themselves. We need more time for this one.
We're gonna go over.
I want to say, in my opinion, what Modern Warfare gets a lot of flack for is the reason that, they create something that consumers want is a head-to-head gaming competition that can last for as long as you find interesting. Honestly, it lasts for a very long time. You don't get tired of the gameplay until the next one comes out, because it's revamped and totally new, and it'll keep you for hours.
So I think that my
main gripe
is that they put out a new game every year, and you can't make a new good solid game in a year.
You can't make a good solid story, but it's like they're giving a patch. It's like they're giving a patch to a.
So why not just make it a patch? Why do you have to?
You can't, because they're revamping the system. They're revamping the settings. They're revamping the color. They're adding another story to it, and they're adding more and more hours of gameplay that you would not get from a regular patch. Honestly, no, they're revamping it entirely. When you want,
I don't feel that they're entirely. I think saying
they're revamping in terms.
I think saying revamped entirely.
The colors are
is a little. Oh look, it's not as bright.
You know what?
I've seen some of the graphics for Ghost. It's not exactly.
You can't say though that all very good, really very good first-person shooters have had the plot. Think of like Doom. Think of Duke Nukem. Have those have like amazing plot? No, I'm pretty sure the plot of Duke Nukem was I'm gonna run around and shoot everything and talk shit about hookers. That was the plot of Duke Nukem, and it was an amazing game. The only reason why it sucked so much this one because it wasn't really a Duke Nukem game.
Yeah, it was
an homage. It was an homage to Duke Nukem.
Yeah, it was not good.
So, as you can see, everyone has a different side of the spectrum. I think that video games I think first-person shooters today, like Call of Duty, are good, and his opinion is wrong. But, as you can see, go out and try any game you want, and you have your own personal opinion on it, but
who are we to tell you what to do? You go out, you play what you have fun with.
Shoes on a couch, so, who are we to tell you about anything?
Look for that Let's Play
I'm gonna go eat a bagel or something. But regardless, I hope you had fun in this Nerdatory. See you next time, and remember to do whatever it is that you've been doing. Unless it's murdering or raping or pillaging or something.
That's not okay. You should stop.
Probably put yourself in jail. Have fun, everybody. See you later, kids of America. Cut
this out while we watch the.
It's 4 minutes.
While we watch the trailer.
Breakdance intro.
What are you doing?
I'm singing the theme song.
You were.
Sorry.
You were having a fucking seizure. I was having a seizure. You were having.
This is gonna be in the show anyway.
Okay.
Just put it in.
I'm hoping to God this blooper show.